What's up, my people? What's up, my homies? What's up, my friends? I'm Gnarly Vato, and these are gnarly times. Well, as you can see on the thumbnail, I'm talking about a cursed voodoo doll. Well, what I think was cursed. Well, the story goes like this. And this whole thing set me on a violation, on almost on a new charge. You know, I went to jail for this. Well, let me tell you the story. When I used to live in Portugal, I used to chill on Salisbury, close to Morton, between Morton and West Putnam. That used to be my old neighborhood. And I used to go to one of my homies' house who lived like in a horseshoe. And his house was in the back, and it had like three houses, small houses on the side of his, and the main house in the front. And I used to go there, and this was around the time around Hurricane Katrina, right before the time the Hurricane Katrina happened. Well, I used to chill there probably like every day almost, and I was chilling there, and these new people moved in, right? Well, it was a black homeboy. So the homeboy I used to go to his house, he used to, as I went every day or so, he'd be like, man, this fool keep giving me dirty looks, blah, 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 you know? Because he had the only biggest yard, and they all had porches, and he'd be out in his yard watering it, and this guy was giving him dirty looks, whatever. And I told him, how you know it's dirty looks? Maybe he just wants to talk to you, you know? Maybe you're getting him dirty looks. But anyways, I told him, look, he's smoking blunts. Once you roll a joint and say, hey, what's up? My name is so-and-so, you know? Well, he ended up doing that one day, and they ended up becoming friends, you know? And he used to come by and start BSing with us, and he became cool with us. So, well, around this time, I used to always get some weed, and then I had another friend I used to drive with around, passenger, shotgun, and he would go deliver all day, and we would just roll blunts and smoking. And well, if his good homeboy, we used to go to his pad, and he sold weed too, and we just smoke weed there. It'd be crazy, like 10, 15 dudes in the garage just puffing, just rolling blunts. It was insane and selling. Well, anyways, this homeboy used to go there, right? And I used to get weed if my homeboy didn't have none from him. And this other homeboy ended up meeting him and used to go get weed. Well, around this time, my dad had got with this lady whose husband died, right? And my dad told her, I'm bad business, you know, I'm bad news, you get with me. My dad was wild. So anyways, they had a mailbox in front of that house, right? And whatever packages anything got, it's in front of their house. So one day, the black homeboy, he was from Louisiana at the time, you know, come to find out. So he was saying he had a package was to come of a doll his grandma sent for his daughter, you know. So all these numbers were kind of the same, you know, like one main number and then one house number. And it's what's called. He ended up getting this package, and this package, my dad and his old lady intercepted this package that was going to him, to the family. So anyways, I used to go there after work, and so I used to see my dad chill there, and after a while it turned into a tweaker house, you know? Because my dad was a tweaker. So it was all party all the time. Like, he turned old girl out. Like, it was insane. She ended up losing her kids, and um, around that time we used to all roll through, and my homeboy Nate would roll through, and uh, if I wanted to see action or just see chaos or have a good time, I would go to my dad's pad. That's how crazy and wild it was, you know. So one day, they got this package, and my dad's like, "Hey, look, we got this package," and I told him, "What do you do?" I said, "Give it back to the homeboy. He was looking for that, you know," and they like, "I don't know, we're gonna keep it, blah blah blah." So I'm like, "Man, give it back to them." So one of the I think it was this old lady kept it, and cause she had black kids, right? And it was like half black kids. It was a black doll, you know, from New Orleans. And just like I said, well, oh, it's voodoo doll, blah blah blah. Well, now I told my neighbor about this story, and he said, "Oh, it probably might have been the voodoo doll, because he's from New Orleans. He came out here after Katrina." Well, he's seen the floating bodies. He's seen all that stuff they seen. He was in the dome, Superdome, you know, and crazy stories he told me. Well, anyways, at this time, Hurricane Katrina was happening, right? And hundreds of his people, not hundreds, a lot of his family came from New Orleans over here. You know, it was so crazy at the time. This other fool I knew on one of my thumbnails got into it in the welfare office in Porterville with one of these fools. Getting crazy because they're from New Orleans, so they come to Porterville thinking Porterville was a nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when this guy's family came, he started getting like a little tougher, acting a little, you know, like he was like this before. He started like, you know. So at this time, I used to get weed from this homeboy, right? One of my best friends at the time, his friend. So when I used to go, I'd bullshit with him in it. Well, he was saying that I was a thief, right? Word is, I'm a thief, my dad's a thief, stealing this fool's doll, right? For his kid. Well, I like I said, I didn't have nothing to do with it. All I seen was watching it, and I told my dad to tell them to give him that doll back. Well, anyways, so they told me the story when I won the score, right? So a couple days later, maybe, I go, no, probably soon after. I go to my dad's pad, right? And I used to drink a lot, so I had some beer, and I was had to take a piss. So they drop me off. I'm walking towards my dad's, and I see homeboy. He's like, hey, he's like, hey, you know, what's called, you got any bud? And I was like, yeah. I said, I just went to so-and-so's score. He's like, oh, let me get some off you. And I go, yeah, all right, you know. I said, hold on, let me go take a piss. I've been drinking, I'm gonna go. So I went, and I just went on the side of my dad's pad, and taking a piss, right? So as I'm there pissing, I'm like, I wonder if I should just check this fool, you know, for talking all that craziness. And so this is going through my head as I'm using the restroom. So I go, you know what? I'm gonna tell him. So I go and wash my hands, right, in the water faucet, and so I go, all right, dry, you know, and I dry them, and then I pull out the weed, and I give him some, I think he wanted like 20, I don't know, half an eighth, and he's like, is that it? And I was like, yeah. He's like, so I could go on social pad and get more than that for what you're giving me. And I go, well, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I just came from there. You can probably do the same thing. And then just his attitude, he was with his homeboy, right? His homeboy was passenger. Well, I told him, I said, check it out. I go, what's this thing you're talking about? I'm a thief. Or my dad's a thief. And he's like, yeah, someone got my doll from my daughter, you know? And I said, check it out. He had chanclas on, flip-flops. I go, check it out. Go to your pad and get your shoes on, because we can get down. And normally I would have swung on him just based on, you know? That's how we roll, because you never know if you didn't get swung on. So I go, hey, go get your shoes. Come back. I'll whoop your ass. Right? And his homeboy, who was passenger, who came to New Orleans, he jumps out the car and they swap shoes. And I was like, all right, you know, cool. We end up squared right up and just boom, 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 started attacking him. Anyways, I got it scratched up, you know what I'm saying, to the white meat in some spots. Well, at the time, this fool didn't live there. They ended up moving out to some other apartments off Olive, you know. And I think Wildwood apartments, Westwood, Wildwood, one of them. And, well, so after we got into this fight, right, it was just whatever. Next time. Oh, no. Well, that's what it was. This fool started saying, F. Porterville, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fool, not only you disrespect me, you disrespect the whole town. You know what I'm saying? And, well, I never said nothing else. I didn't say I'm going to kill you. I didn't say I'm going to hurt your family. I didn't say nothing. All I said was that. Not only you disrespect me, you disrespect the whole town. You know? Because Porterville embraced them. It's like, what are you talking about? Anyways, when they split, that's all I said to him. So I didn't see him for like a day or two, right? Well, one day I was, I don't know if it was the same day or the next day or soon after. My homeboy picks me up. He's like, come on, let's go. We're going to go drop off some bud or whatever. And this fool's like, I'm like, all right, whatever. So we go to the apartments on Wildwood, I think they are, or where. And I see my homeboy Nate. I see my dad. I see the homeboy Speedy. I see my wife's cousin, uncle. I see like 10 homeboys, literally, at this time, right? So we're chilling there, and my homeboy had a jar, you know, the scale, and I ended up having my own sack from him, you know, because he was my connect. Nah, he was my connect too, but I had my own thing, and he's like, you know, my own weed pipe, and because he was gonna drop me off later. So we're there chilling, and we see a cop driving on Olive, right? And we're right there in front. It was crazy. We're there parked just for a minute. Like everybody just happened to show up at this one time. And I was like, okay, whatever, one cop, and then another cop. Boom. Rolls by. And then all I know, they just roll up on us, pull out the guns, freeze, mother effers, put up your hands. And you're like, and prior, because I should have took a clue when my wife's uncle walked away. Like, all right, we'll see later. Right when he seen the first cop. Then a few other guys started petering away. Because they're like, all right, I'm roll, you know. But we were still there. Like, all right, cops is like 4 of us. So we're out there. When they rolled up with the guns, we were all like, hey, where's the gun at? Where's the gun at? We're like, we didn't have no guns. But my homeboy had, you know, contraband. And I had mine on me. Well, anyways, they ended up taking me to jail. They said they took me to jail, right? And put me for terrorist threats. Because they said I threatened that dude. Well, they come to find out where homeboy moved was in those apartments. And his old lady, because she had knew me, right? So and he told her that I had got into it with him. She seen me with there and all my homeboys, that she called the cops, said we had a gun. You know? And these fools are like, they took me into jail, you know, and had all, luckily it was crazy thing, the cop went to high school with me and my brother. Played sports, and he's like, hey, how's your brother doing? And I'm like, oh, he's doing all right. And he told me, he's like, hey, you want to flush this down the toilet and throw your pipe away, or I'll charge you. You know? And I was like, destroy, you know? But I ended up going to jail for terrorist threats. And I was in there for about, I don't know. I think I got bailed out at that time. You know? And luckily, there was no witnesses. There's no video, no audio. You know, it was just his word against my word. Which luckily, it was his word against my word. And I swear on my children, I did never threaten his life. I just told him that was disrespectful to everybody. You know, and so I ended up going there. They dropped my, I think I went on a violation. Because each time I used to violate, I was on parole for 7 years. So each time I used to violate, they would send me back for like 90 days. Besides the county time I did for like 3 months or whatever. And then when they would take me to violate me. So it was just wild, and it was just crazy. And you always gotta not put yourself in these positions. You know, you gotta think before you do something. Because me not thinking it all the way through, what if there was actually the charges were dropped, you know what I'm saying? But thank God, or else who knows how long it would have did in there. Terrorist threats for something so little as a doll, a cursed voodoo doll, you know, and this was just a crazy situation. You know, and I never thought it'd escalate that far. I just didn't like someone going around smutting my name because I wasn't a thief. You know? Well, this is another tale that happened in my life. A gnarly tale that took me to jail. You know? And I don't wish just that on anybody. And lucky everything worked out. You know, and I'm just glad I'm here to tell this gnarly tale in my life. And I'm Gnarly Vato. And have a gnarly day.